Hello everyone, so today we're going to be talking about why I personally do not use ELS in my Grand Theft Auto 5 modifications. Quick disclaimer though, this video is in no way meant to put down people that have made ELS, the people that use ELS in their mods and the people that use ELS in their game. If you enjoy it and whatnot, that's fine. Continue using it, continue enjoying it. I'm not here to try and convert you, I'm just here to say why I personally do not use it. Because this question, often comes up a lot, not just for me, but also for my fellow law-friendly modders. Because you'll notice that most of us, if not all of us, basically never use ELS for our mods. Ours is always custom siren settings. And I'm going to go into details why I personally won't use it. This may apply to others, but I can't speak for everyone. This is just, personally why I don't use it. I also recognise that ELS does have, some pros over siren settings. For instance, light stages, that is definitely a really cool feature. It's good in terms of added immersion, but personally I feel like the cons outweigh the pros when you look at siren settings and ELS. So let's get straight into it. I'll start off with the main feature here for me personally, and that is basically the core functioning of both of these systems, which of course is vitally important. And that is that obviously the custom siren settings use its own dedicated system within the game engine. ELS again uses a dedicated system in the game engine, but actually it essentially replaces it, and that is the extras feature. Now for those of you that are not aware, each car can have up to 12 extras, and these extras are basically just sort of added meshes that can spawn and unspawn to sort of give it a different taste, if you will. So this, in terms of my mods, can sometimes come in the form of like equipment inside the car. It can be whole car parts. I mean, it can basically be whatever really. But my point is that because of that, by using the ELS mod, what you're having to do is remove the extras, and as such that means you've got less customizability and variation, and I'm an absolute sucker for that kind of stuff. So basically that's a massive no-go already for me. With that said, I will point out that I'm acutely aware that doesn't mean it gets rid of all the extras. I know that you can keep some extras and turn them off from ELS usage, but again you're reducing slots, and that's going to be my next point. So the next big point here is, like I said, slots. ELS can only use 12 extras max. Now, I've been told it could be as low as 10 or 11. I think it could be 11 or 12, and I think 10's a little low. I can't remember, I've not used ELS in a while, I will confess. But basically, you cannot go above those 12 extra slots. So, that's it. You can only have a maximum of 12. Now, when you look at siren settings, the cap is 20, and I will say, a little side note, 20 is, again, ridiculously small, at least for me. I'm trying to create all this crazy shit, and it's just not possible with 20 slots. But when you look at it, there's still already a massive gap. You look at 12 and 20, and there's already, like I said, it could be as low as perhaps 10. So let's say it's on the low end, 10 and 20, that's already double. That's a 100% increase. It's double the amount of siren slots than extra slots. So already it blows ELS out of the water. Now, let's say it's 11 extras, that's an 80% increase. Or if it's 12, it's a 66% increase. So you've got 2/3 more, even on the top end. 2/3 more slots with siren settings. So you can see already that there's actually more slots you can use for emergency lighting using custom siren settings over using ELS. And like I said, obviously the more lighting you use for ELS, even if you're not going to use all 12 extras, it means you're severely limiting what you can use for actual vehicle extras. So let's say I only need to use 4 vehicle extras. Well, if it was on the top end of 12 extras to begin with, you've now only got 8 extras. If you only had 10, then that means you've only got 6 extras. And then you realise, hang on a minute, 6 slots against 20, it's even bigger of a gap. So you can see that there's a massive flaw in that regard. So that's point number 2. Point number 3, I kind of hate to say this, but I'm going to have to be blunt. As far as I'm concerned, using ELS as a developer for your mods is basically the lazy way of doing things. Custom siren settings are far more complex in my mind. It takes a lot of time and effort, far more than using ELS. So I do feel like that is something that's often overlooked. People don't get the credit for making custom siren settings. People just go, oh, make ELS versions. And you think, well, no. Ours is much more sophisticated and, in my mind, far better. Like I said, it also allows more customizability for your vehicles, looking beyond siren settings. So there are more pros, using custom siren settings beyond actually the siren setting feature itself. So ELS doesn't, beyond perhaps the tones of your sirens. But as far as I'm concerned, there are other modifications out there that allow you to do that anyway, but that's a different point. I'm not going to go into that. Next, when you look at environmental lighting, I'm sorry, but ELS environmental lighting is ridiculous. Don't be wrong, vanilla environmental lighting is also ridiculous in the complete opposite sense. There's almost no environmental lighting, it looks stupid. With ELS, there's so much environmental lighting that also looks stupid. So both are on like crazy extremes. With custom siren settings though, you can actually tweak that, so you can improve the environmental lighting without going a little too far. So again, you've got that customizability inside custom siren settings, because there are options there that haven't really been utilised by Rockstar themselves, but I mean it's there to be used and to be edited. So massive pro there. Now, I admit that this point isn't something that directly involves me, at least not to my knowledge, but I have noticed this come across with other modders. So, like I said, I don't think I come across it personally, but I do notice that some people, like some of my other fellow lore-friendly modders, they get, in their comment section and review section of their mods, they get, people saying, oh, why are you so lazy? Why can't you just do ELS? Because it's so basic. Like I said, it's the lazy way of modding. But my argument there is, well, first, like I said, we put in far more time and effort to actually make this content for you. But secondly, if, like I said, if it's that basic, if it's that simple, then you should be able to do it yourself. Now, I have always tried to ensure that my mods are unlocked. I believe in, this collaboration, in this ability to sort of share our content, because, I'm acutely aware that my, if I can call it, my style of modding isn't necessarily everyone else's favourite. Everyone's got creative differences, and in a way ELS is in itself a creative difference in this regard. But I ensure my mods are unlocked so they're easily editable. I try and provide UV templates so people can make their own custom liveries if they don't like mine. So my point is, I'm quite open with that, and in that sense, I encourage people to make ELS compatible versions of my mods if that's what they want. It's not for me. Sorry, but it's just not for me. It's not something I intend to do. But my point is, the option is there. It's available to you if that's what you really, really want. It is simple. It's far more simple than custom siren settings. So, if it really bugs you that much, then go and make that yourself. I'm not going to make a video on how to do it. Like I said, it's simple. You should be able to work it out yourself. But if not, I'm sure there is a video out there somewhere. So yeah, hopefully that clears it up for everyone. Like I said, I respect people that want to use ELS and what have you, but this is just me explaining why I personally will not be using ELS. This question comes up an awful lot. People ask, why don't you use ELS? Why don't you make your mods ELS compatible? Well, this is why. But ultimately, I hope that this sort of gives you some understanding of why I personally will not be using it. And that's basically it. I don't see any reason for me to change my mind in future. This is kind of final. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the flip side.